9:30, son las 9:30 y muy buenos días. Muy buenos días. ¿Cómo están todos?
I can't hear a thing.
No, no puedes
Okay.
oír. Los demás me pueden oír. Can everybody else hear me?
Sí.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Quizás hay un control. There might be some control. I don't know if you're on a tablet or computer. The controls are always a little bit different depending on your device, etc. So check on your audio. Okay. Está bien. Buenos días y feliz lunes. Happy Monday. Feliz lunes.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Ah, sí, sí,
Sí.
te puedo oír, sí.
Muy bueno.
Bien, bien. Bueno, vamos a practicar con las ideas de opiniones. We're going to start off with the ¿qué te parece prompts, the little prompts about, again, we're going to review. Vamos a repasar y vamos a practicar la idea una vez más de expresar ideas con opiniones. Okay, so we'll start off with that today. We'll take any questions you had on the grabar recording video that you had for listening comprehension. And we're going to move on to then prepositions. And prepositions actually take a while because there's so many prepositions, but we're going to focus a lot on those opposite ones, a limited number of prepositions forms, and we're going to use some pictures to practice those and see if you can plug in the correct words to talk about where things are in relation to other things. And we'll have a few little caveats with that too. Prepositions are very, very difficult words. We'll talk about that more later on, un poquito más tarde. Pero primero vamos a empezar con las ideas de opiniones. Aquí vienen las ideas. Here come the ideas. Sí, y vamos a usar.
Excuse me. Sorry for interrupting.
Sí, está
I'm
bien.
having headphone problems and stuff. But I had a question. When I was looking through, we haven't got that book yet. I had to get another one. And there's words that have an accent over the letter, and the same word without an accent.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
my typewriter won't make those accents.
Okay. Here's what you should do. I can't give you an exact way to find this. You have it depends on your device. Tablet, Mac, Windows, whatever you use.
Yeah, Windows
Okay.
laptop.
Go into Google. Google how do I get a foreign accent keyboard?
Okay.
Just type that in. It will show you on and put in Windows. Windows, how do I use accent marks, or Windows, how do I get keyboard accent marks? Anything like that. You'll get
Wonderful.
instructions. It's not that hard. There are a couple ways to do it. If you use a word processor, there's often a little segment in a word processor too, but again, kind of depends. So it's easier to get a keyboard, and it'll show you how to do that.
So again, that was how do I get, what again was that accent?
How do I get a Windows keyboard for accent marks?
Thank you.
See, and you can put in Spanish, but it'll yeah, Spanish accent marks. Although, yeah, there are different accent marks, of course, in different languages. It'll just show you how to pull in a different keyboard. And then
Thank
when
you so
that
much.
happens, you'll get like a toggle switch that will appear somewhere on your Windows screen that you can flip between Spanish, Espanol, and en, it'll be listed, I think, as English. So, okay, vale. Bueno, pero vamos a practicar. We're going to do this first one all together, and then I'm going to send you into breakout rooms for the rest. Okay? And our two words of talking about ideas, I'll just step back a minute to remind everybody. When somebody asks you the question, ¿qué te parece? ¿Qué te parece? Literally, it means, how does it seem to you? And that's correct. But in English, a lot of times, instead of phrasing that as, how does it seem to you? In English, you may ask this question as the very common phrase of, what do you think about? What do you think about? Right? So, ¿qué te parece? ¿Qué te parece? Always is a lead-off question that asks you for your opinion. You just know they're asking your opinion if they start off a question with ¿qué te parece? What do you think about? How does it seem to you? Okay, so that is the question that will ask for you saying your opinion. Entonces, si la pregunta es, ¿qué te parece la comida vegetariana? What do you think about vegetarian food? We're going to do this as a run through so that we do it all together and you can see how it works. ¿Qué te parece la comida vegetariana? Anybody got an idea? I would say, para mí, la comida vegetariana está bien. It's okay. Es regular, sí. Me gusta, me gusta. So there are a lot of ways you can answer to express your opinion. Okay, sí, Danita.
Es muy, para mí la comida vegetariana es muy saludable.
Bien, excelente, Danita. Para mí, and notice the answer, it doesn't have to be, but it very well can be para mí, to say, here's my opinion. Para mí, la comida vegetariana es muy saludable. Bien, perfecto. Otra idea.
I have another question on that one.
Sí.
I have written it down. I have para mí me gusta el pollo. So
¿Pollo?
for me, I like something. Is that right? Me.
Me gusta el pollo. Me gusta el pollo. Expressing your opinion can lead off with para mí, but it could also lead off with nos gusta, right? Now, if you're going to say we like, because you're talking about the people all in your family group, yeah? Instead of leading off with para mí, it would be para nosotros. ¿Sí? Bien. Para nosotros nos gusta el pollo. Well, we like chicken. Y el pollo es carne. El pollo no es no es algo de, no es una comida de, no es comida vegetariana. It's not vegetarian food. El pollo no es comida vegetariana. Okay.
So no, I guess what my question was is I have the para mí, and then I have the word me, which means I. So it's like having two I's in there.
That works. Para mí me gusta.
Oh.
Para mí me gusta. Buena idea. Sí, Len. That para mí me gusta. Yes, you do need, para mí, we still have a little word that refers back to what I like. Me gusta. Sí, para mí me gusta. Those two words are two separate words. See, the me and the me. They both refer to this person, right? They both refer to yo, I, what I like, right? But para mí me gusta, you could also say a mí me gusta. Those are both correct. A mí me gusta, para mí. Para mí just emphasizes more, this is my opinion. Para mí me gusta el pollo. Bien, okay? There is no one right way to answer that question. Okay, so you're not either right or wrong, this category, that what's correct. Well, many things might be correct. Por ejemplo, sí, para mí la comida vegetariana es la mejor. It's the best. Correcto. Creo que, I think that. Creo que la comida vegetariana es difícil de cocinar. It's hard to cook. Not a fact, but an opinion. Bien, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, para mi esposo, ¿sí? Para mi esposo, para él, la proteína de la carne es necesaria para su dieta. The protein in meat is necessary for his diet. Okay, so there's no one way to say your opinion, but an easy way to seg in with signaling, flagging off right away that it's your opinion is to start off with para mí. Para mí. So I encourage you to start with para mí, but you don't have to start out with para mí. Okay, bien. ¿Entienden? Understand that? ¿Sí?
Sí.
Ustedes van a practicar con cuatro preguntas aquí. ¿Qué te parecen las flores silvestres? Flores silvestres. It's wild flowers. Yeah, they don't use the word wild. They use sylvan, stuff that's out in the forest. See, ¿qué te parecen las flores silvestres del desierto? What do you think about wildflowers in the desert? And there it was parecen because it's flores, flowers, right? A whole group of things. But then we go back to parece for the next one because it's something by itself, a singular thing, una idea singular. ¿Qué te parece el arte abstracta? What do you think
Nada.
about abstract art? Yeah, you can say, I like it, I don't like it, it's interesting, I don't understand it. You can say whatever you think, okay? ¿Qué te parece viajar en carro con la familia? What do you think about traveling by car? And here we're focusing on the means of transportation, el medio de transporte. ¿Qué te parece viajar en carro con la familia? Y por fin, ¿qué te parece viajar en avión? What do you think about flying? What's your opinion on flying? I think you'll probably need about 7 minutes, 7 minutos. ¿Sí? Bien. And we only want you to work with those 4 during the breakout room process today. Don't go beyond that. Otherwise, you'll be kind of biting off not more than you can chew, but a bigger hunk. Yeah, we want to break this up into manageable chunks and then come back and see where you have questions or where there were problems or where you have a fabulous example that you want to share. Okay, aquí vienen los botones. Here comes your join button, and I will send the questions into your rooms as well. Boom, boom, boom. Momentito. Share button. Okay, compartir. I hit the little share button, so that will send it out into your separate rooms. Oh, okay. I have to send Mark into a different room. Okay, bien. Y 7 minutos en mi cronómetro. I've got to get my stopwatch up and set it for 7 minutes. 7, 7, 7. Vale, perfecto. Para mí, el número 2, me encantan las flores silvestres. Para mí, me encantan las flores silvestres. Número 3, ¿qué te parece el arte abstracta? Para mí, depende. A veces me gusta el arte abstracta, pero es una cosa que se necesita interpretar. Ah, y a veces, por ejemplo, en un lugar público como el arte abstracta, no tienes que pensar tanto en lo que significa. Sometimes in a public place, you don't have to think about what abstract art thinks. It's just there for decoration. Ok. ¿Qué te parece viajar en carro con la familia? Es más barato viajar en carro con la familia, pero no hay mucho espacio. Es, es interesante ver el paisaje cuando viajamos en carro. Se puede parar y un rato para comer, por ejemplo, si viajas en carro. Toma más tiempo viajar en carro, ¿verdad? ¿Y qué te parece viajar en avión? Viajar en avión cuesta mucho más. Otra vez, no hay mucho espacio, especialmente para las piernas. El espacio en los asientos del avión para las piernas no es muy cómodo dentro de un avión y cuesta más, pero viajar en avión es algo muy rápido. Michael, do you want to join group now, or
No,
let me put you into a different group since you came in?
no, I'm not feeling well, so,
Oh, okay. Then I won't do it. And then just hang out here. That's fine.
right.
Bien. Está bien. That is fine. That happens. Así es la vida. Such is life.
Such is life.
Para mí, no, not for me. If I'm not on, that would be pretty bad if I decided I wasn't feeling up to it and didn't come to the table with everything I got. Como maestra, no puedo hacerlo. As a teacher, I cannot do that. So even if I'm flagging, I push. Ok, vale. ¿Y cuánto tiempo nos queda? Nos quedan, we have left. Nos quedan 3 minutos. That means 3 minutes remain to us. Nos quedan 3 minutos. 3 minutes are left to us. We would say we have 3 minutes left, but in Spanish you say nos quedan 3 minutos. Y a ver. Let's see. Bien, sí. Vale, bueno. Veo en mi cronómetro que ahora estamos al punto de decir que tenemos solamente 1 minuto. Así que voy a enviarles, I'm going to send everybody, voy a enviarles a todos el mensaje de que hay 1 minuto más para terminar la idea. Y a ver, and people will come back on in at their own pace as they see fit. Muy bien, a ver. Ok, en 10 segundos, 10 segundos. Van a regresar aquí al grupo entero. Y vamos a ver cuáles son las preguntas que tienen y todo eso. We'll see what kind of questions everybody might have had from doing that little exercise. Y bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Welcome back. We're still waiting on. Oh, aquí vienen más. Y. Okay.
I have a
Aquí.
question.
Sí, 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 dime.
Okay, we were looking at the question about, que te parece viajar por carro con la familia? We came up with one of the ladies came up with the fact that a private, she liked private. Now I noticed that private has feminine and masculine. And we were wondering, would we look at the word car? I mean,
What are we describing as being private? It's traveling, right?
right?
Traveling, traveling
Yeah.
by a certain means, right? But the idea, so yes, the word privado, private, might be privado with an O at the end or privada with an A at the end, right?
Right.
So because what we're describing is viajar, traveling, and we can make it more specific by saying viajar en carro or viajar por carro. Okay, traveling by car. Traveling, when we describe an activity, activities take a masculine gender
Okay.
adjective. So, por ejemplo, if I say painting is fun, pintar es divertido, es divertido. Yeah. If I talked about a party, una fiesta, la fiesta es muy divertida. The party is fun. La fiesta femenina es muy divertida. There I'm describing a thing that is a feminine thing, and it would be divertida, right? Or I could say la reunión, the meeting, and that is a feminine thing. La reunión es privada. The meeting is private, see? But anytime we talk about an action, and viajar is an action, that goes into masculine mode.
Okay.
And that's a good question because viajar is a verb. It's not a noun. It doesn't have an er or a la. Okay? Bien? Okay. Bien?
Thank you.
De nada, de nada. Bueno,
Nada.
hay un buen ejemplo. Is there a good example? Oh, and I should pop our questions back up here so that everybody can see them at the same time. ¿Hay un buen ejemplo que ustedes quieren compartir? Is there any kind of great example that you want to share from what you did together? Or is there any other question? You
We
didn't
had
know
a-
how to... Sí,
we had a-
Marcos.
We had a question in our group. On question number 3, el arte abstracta is how you wrote it. but both Danita and I said we were looking.
I
it up
can't
in-
hear,
I don't know. Can you hear better now?
not much.
Te puedo,
Yeah, we
I can hear
it's-
you.
I can, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, both Danita and I were wondering if it's arte abstracta or arte abstracto.
Abstracto. Bien, buena pregunta. El arte is one of the odd words. There are a few odd words in Spanish where el arte, we use it as el arte because it is a noun that starts with an accented, a punched ah. And even though we use el, because, okay, if you had l'arte, la arte, they don't like that combination in Spanish. So when a noun starts with an accented they will flip into el arte, but it's still a feminine word. Even though, even
Well,
though.
it apparently fooled Google.
Yeah,
So we
it's an
messed
odd.
up.
And if you look up the word arte in, and it's a good question that the two of you had, if you look up arte, they list it for genders, AMB, ambiguous, meaning about, it isn't really, what that means is it does use el arte, with, it uses the article el, even though it's a feminine word. It's an oddball word. There aren't a lot of those in Spanish, but that's one. Bueno. ¿Hay más preguntas? Any other questions or a good example you want to share with everybody?
Well,
Sí, Liza, sí.
yeah, actually it was question 2, I guess that is the number. Para mí las flores silvestres, anyway,
Sí,
I don't
bien.
know if I'm, okay, so bonito or bonita, I was trying to describe, you know,
Pretty. Right?
yeah,
What form do we need of that core word, bonito, pretty? What do we need if we're going to describe las flores silvestres?
Plural. Plural.
No.
Plural.
Flores.
Plural.
bonita, bonitas or bonitos.
Bonitas. Why does it need to be bonitas?
'Cause
Las
it's
flores
las
silvestres.
flores.
Sí, las flores es femenina y plural. Las flores silvestres son bonitas.
Yeah, I don't know
Las
why.
flores silvestres son, sí, para mí las flores silvestres son lindas, son preciosas, son bonitas, son hermosas, son abundantes. They are abundant.
Got
Bien.
it.
Bien, bien.
Thanks for
And you
reminding
know,
me.
that might have confused you because you saw las flores silvestres del desierto. The del desierto doesn't mean I use a masculine word if I call these pretty. Del desierto just tells where they are. But it's not the thing we're describing. We're not describing the desert. We're describing the flowers that are in the desert. Yeah, see? So del desierto just tells you what kind of flowers they are. They're not out of a hothouse. They're not in front of your yard. They are not in a flower pot on your patio. They are in the desert. Del desierto. See?
Yeah, well, okay, that answers both our curiosity. Okay. Yeah.
Sí, bien. Ok, ¿hay más preguntas o más ejemplos? Sí, para mí, quiero decirles como un ejemplo, sí, las dos últimas preguntas aquí, ¿qué te parece viajar en carro y qué te parece viajar en avión? Para mí, viajar en avión hoy en día, nowadays, viajar en avión es muy incómodo. very uncomfortable, muy incómodo, ¿sí?
Ah, sí,
El
sí, sí.
espacio en los asientos, sí, es horrible en un avión por lo general, ¿sí? Si viajas por primera clase, es mejor, pero en la clase de economía, los espacios de los asientos es horrible. Ah, pero, pero es mucho más rápido viajar, claro, en avión. Bien. Ah, y para mí viajar en carro no es muy cómodo tampoco. That's not very comfortable either. Pero, el paisaje es muy interesante, the landscape, mientras estamos en carro, el paisaje es interesante y podemos parar para comer un poquito. Sí, podemos parar para caminar un poquito y estirarse los brazos, estirarse las piernas así. Ok, bien, bien. Okay, and here we're going to, instead of asking a question, plug in some ideas. So this actually forced you to, even though it's not asking the question, it still kind of go a little bit harder at thinking of something to fill in the slot. Ask your partner what they think about something new, or plug in or we're going to plug in a word with the ... right? The question that these are kind of like the answers, the top is the question part. ¿Qué te parece? How does something seem to you? But you're going to plug something in the ... So the key is we have to think about what these descriptive concepts mean, so that we plug in the ... something that makes sense, right? Para mí, pum, 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 es estupendo, ¿sí? Para mí el sushi es estupendo. Para mí el sushi es estupendo, ¿sí? Bien. And of course, if you're describing a feminine thing, you may need an a at the end of that. Sí, depende. Para mí, pum, 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 es lo peor de mi fin de semana. Para mí, hacer ejercicio en la naturaleza es lo mejor de mi fin de semana. For me, exercising is the best thing about the weekend. ¿Sí? Para mi esposo, and here I want to put in a different person, not myself, but somebody else. Okay, because sometimes we talk about what other people's opinions are. Para mi esposo, para mi esposo, las cosas electrónicas son fascinantes. ¿Sí? If you were talking about plural things, just know it might change to son fascinantes, right? If it's singular, it'll be es fascinante. ¿Sí? Para mí, para mí. A ver, and again, I'm going to put in here because you may need to make this feminine. Para mí, para mí la política es ridícula a veces. La política es ridícula muchas veces. Ok, pero es una cosa necesaria también. Y para el turista típico, for the typical tourist, for the average tourist, for just the guy in the street who's traveling somewhere. Para el turista típico, un monumento especial es impresionante. And again, you may, if you're describing something plural, you may need to change that. two son
And would you put in,
impresionantes.
right,
Yeah. So if I wanted to say all monuments there, I might change it to para el turista típico, los monumentos nacionales son impresionantes. National monuments are impressive. Okay. Para el turista típico, el arte es impresionante. Así, like that. Okay? Bien? Vale. Back you go into breakout rooms and maybe for this a little bit shorter, 5 minutos, 5 minutes.
yeah.
¿Qué te parece? What do you think? ¿Ya sí? ¿Qué les
Sí.
parece? ¿Sí? ¿Les parece bien? Okay. Vale. Bueno. Y share screen. I need to pop those into your rooms. Bien. Oh, mi cronómetro. 5 minutos. Uh. Oop. Okay, bien. We had a little technology hitch, but I see it's been fixed and everybody's in their rooms. Todos están en sus cuartitos. Okay. Voy a enviarles un mensaje. I'm going to send everybody a message. Okay, bien. Vale. Vale, los demás van a regresar en 30 minutos. Everybody else is going to come back in about 30 seconds. Y 5, 2 segundos. Vale, bueno, aquí vienen. Here comes pretty much everybody. Excelente. Bueno, a ver. Entonces, vamos a ver. Let's see what went well and what maybe stumped you a little bit, what kind of questions you might have, or if you have a great example you want to share with everybody.
Well, we kind of had something on number 2. Para mí, we put down para mí, limpieza de la casa es la peor de mi fin de semana.
Sí, sí, lo peor. Y lo peor is the worst thing, right? That those two words hang together to mean the worst thing. Sí, limpiar es lo peor. Cleaning is the worst. Eso, sí, de acuerdo.
So when I say
Sí.
I would say, like cleaning the house, still I would say es la peor.
Es lo peor. Es
peor.
lo peor. Lo there isn't a masculine word. It actually is kind of a neuter thing. It's talking about the worst thing, right? Even though they don't put the word thing in there. When we use a lo with a describer, yeah, like lo ridículo, lo interesante, the interesting thing, lo fascinante, the fascinating thing. Lo peor means the worst thing.
Marilyn,
And-
if you use something plural, and I'll share my example, but so you just made me wondering, is it still lo peor or does it become los peor? Peores or something
Ah.
like that.
Give me your examples so that I know.
Okay. Antes de jubilarse, los domingos por la noche eran los peores de mi fin de semana.
Lo peor, the worst thing. Sí, igual. Bien, bien. Sí, y para los chicos en el colegio también, igual, sí. El domingo por la noche, the Sunday night, sí, antes de comenzar la semana de trabajo, antes de comenzar la semana del estudio en la escuela. Sí, siempre es lo peor. It's the worst. Eso es. Bien. Bueno, ¿hay más preguntas o no? Okay, I wanted to give you a good amount of time to practice those little ideas because so many times we talk about our opinions about stuff, and it's good to know those little para mí tricks or, you know, lo que sea, whatever they may be. Different ways to talk about our opinion and to know that when people talk back at you, they will use different phrases to give their opinions. They might say, creo que, I think that. They might say, pienso que, I think that. They might say, opino, I have this opinion, opino que. But an easy way where you don't have to think about verb conjugation at all is just para mí. Para mí always sends up a little flag to the person you're talking to, right? That they are giving you their opinion. Vale, bueno. Adelante, adelante, adelante. Quiero saber, I want to know your little video you had to listen to for storytelling. Ella habló de grabar videos. She talked about filming her videos. And actually, she even got into a little bit talking about things in her space here. So you heard probably a couple little prepositions that we will be practicing in a bit. Pero quiero saber, I do want to know, do you have any questions from watching that video of something you did not understand what she was saying or a term that she used that you didn't get? Any questions about what was happening? It's anything that was unclear? No. Bien? Bueno. Bien claro. Nice and clear. That's good to know. Fantástico. So she talked a lot about just things in her space, things that didn't belong, that she was putting in different places, right? Steps she uses, las luces para grabar. Sí, ella habló de su trípode, her tripod, sí, bien. Y habló de los micrófonos que ella usa para grabar. Okay. Bien, she talked about all her little things. So a lot of them, even though you might not use that word trípode, tripod, you don't need to use it, but you could understand it because that's enough of a cognate. It relates back to what you already know in English, that you can guess the meaning of that. Bien? Vale. Bueno. Okay, we're going to focus now on some prepositions. And prepositions, you had some, we had a video last week about some opposite words at prepositions, and we're going to look at that and look at some little disclaimers. And then I promised you that we were going to practice with some pictures to see if we can apply those preposition words based on what you see in the picture. Vale, bueno. So let's start with the idea of prepositions are a big topic. I'm going to give you more to listen to about prepositions for the coming week. ¿Por qué son importantes? Why are they important? They are teeny tiny words, but they have many jobs. But one of the jobs that prepositions have are to put something in a physical space. So in other words, to talk about location or position of things. ¿Y por qué es importante? Why is it important? Because quite often, especially when you are traveling, you may need to ask for directions, and people will use prepositions to tell you where stuff is located when you're finding your way around. You may need to use prepositions to talk about things that are located in a store or a hotel room or a restaurant or lo que sea, whatever it might be. Bien? So We use these all the time to talk about where things are taking up space and how to find things. But prepositions can be tricky because there are so darn many of them. Now, the video you had last week focused on just a few. So we're going to focus on those few, but we're going to add some other things in as we go along, okay? Because it's kind of hard to avoid that. ¿Dónde están las cosas en las fotos? Where are the things in these photos? Sí, describe la posición de las personas y las cosas. Describe the position of the people and things. And I think actually there are going to be more things than people, but okay. What are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on some of these words that you heard. We're going to focus on these concepts more because these are the ones that you heard last week. So we're going to apply the things that you saw in the opposite words video of last week. And those were arriba, abajo, right? Above and below. Okay. Encima de, on top of, versus debajo de, underneath. See, bien? And often you need a little word de after those two. Encima de, encima might just be encima, on top of. Está encima, it's on top, right? Or está debajo, it's underneath, right? And we'll talk about that little word de in a minute. Adentro, inside, meaning the inside space, okay? Afuera, outside, as in outdoors, yeah? Do know, and this was not in the video, but I'm going to tell you this as an extra. There is a word adentro, starting with an A, and there is a word dentro with no A in front of it. Yeah. There is a word afuera, outside or outdoors, and the word fuera de. Yeah, fuera. Not afuera, starting with an A, but just fuera. Okay. And usually you're going to hear those two as dentro de and fuera de. Dentro de means inside of, and that means we're naming another thing after that word de. Okay, and I will give you an example of that. We're going to isolate these two. Adentro, fíjense, notice. Adentro, ahí hay muebles y mi computadora. Inside, there's furniture and my computer. See? Bien? And that means I'm talking about my house. En mi casa, ¿sí? Adentro hay muebles. Inside, there is furniture. Y hay mi computadora and my computer. Okay? And that just means inside. Okay? But notice the difference between adentro, inside, or, por ejemplo, okay, momentito, otro ejemplo. Another example. You walk into, like a community center, okay? Adentro hay mucha gente. Inside, there are a lot of people. Okay, so we can use it to talk about people too. Adentro, inside, you walk into the community center. Adentro hay mucha gente. See? Okay, bien. But if I say inside of a thing, that is a little bit different. Okay? Por ejemplo, tengo un archivo. I've got a little file over here. Tengo un archivo. See? I could just say, adentro hay papeles. See, inside there are papers. Adentro hay papeles. Inside there are papers. But if I want to say the papers are inside of this thing, so inside of a thing, now I use dentro de. See? Por ejemplo, ¿dónde está mi ejemplo? Sí, bien. Mis papeles, mis papeles de las finanzas, my papers about finances, yeah. Como el día de impuestos es el 15 de abril, yeah. Tax day is the 15th of April, right? Mis papeles de finanzas, de las finanzas, están dentro del archivo, están dentro del archivo. When I'm naming what it's inside of, then it's dentro de. ¿Entienden? Sí. Ok. Otro ejemplo. Otro ejemplo de dentro de.
Could you do an example of the outside one? Fuera de?
Sí. Hay coches afuera. There are cars outside. Hay coches afuera. Hay 3 árboles afuera. There are 3 trees outside. For the outside, yeah. See? Hay muchos muebles adentro. There's a lot of furniture inside.
Right.
See? Okay. Bien. So let's look at our adentro versus dentro de. Dentro de, when I name the item, it's inside of. See? Hay crema para las manos. Hay crema dentro de la jarra. Dentro de la jarra. I'm telling what it's inside of, la jarra. Dentro de la jarra. ¿Sí?
De la carta. Yeah.
¿Bien? ¿Está bien? Good?
Yes.
¿Sí? Oh, por ejemplo.
Sí.
Ok. O, por ejemplo, otro ejemplo. Hay tarjetas de Navidad. Hay tarjetas de Navidad dentro de la caja.
Right, right.
Dentro de la caja. I name what it's inside of. When I name what it's inside of, it's dentro de la cajita. Sí,
Okay.
bien?
Yeah, sí.
Okay. So, why did I bring that up? Uy, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? Why did I bring that up? Porque, because you will hear both the word dentro, dentro de, and adentro. You'll hear them both, right? Adentro is inside, see? But dentro de, I'm naming the thing it's inside of after that word de, right? See? Como la crema está dentro de la jarra. Bien? Okay. Bueno. And it's the same thing with afuera, outside. Hay carros afuera. Hay árboles afuera, right? Outside, just outside, right? But if I say something is outside of, and I name the thing, it becomes fuera de. ¿Sí? Bien? Okay. Vale. Y muy importante, these 2 terms that you heard in last week's video are super, super important because these will be used almost daily if you're traveling. When you ask for directions and people are tell you where stuff is, you know, you're orienting yourself, walking around a city space, right? A la izquierda, to the left, a la derecha. And you'll generally hear it as those 3-word combos, or well, actually here it's 4. It might be 4, right? The de is in parentheses because you may or may not need the de, and I'll show you what I mean by that. A la izquierda is to the left, but it might be a la izquierda de. And again, I use de when I tell what it's to the left to. So somebody may only use without the word de, a la izquierda, to the left. ¿Sí? ¿Dónde está el banco? Where's the bank? A la izquierda, it's on the left. ¿Sí? ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está, por ejemplo, sí, el monumento? ¿Sí? Oh, está a la izquierda. It's on the left. But if I say what it's to the left to, then I need to add that little word de. ¿Sí? Por ejemplo, I'm pointing at a table where people are sitting. Mi hijo está a la izquierda de mi esposo. My son is on the left of my husband. And I'm saying he's seated to the left of my husband. See? So that's when I need the de, when I have another point of reference there. Okay. Y por ejemplo, otra vez, sí, lo mismo, the same thing with a la derecha. A la derecha, just by itself, is on the right. See? A la derecha de, to the right of something else. See? Bien. Vale. Okay. So here I mentioned this, and you'll get all this, you'll get this file. I'll send this file so you don't need to take furious notes on it. I'll send you this file with the email after class. See, if I don't mention anything after that preposition, this shows you again that the word might stand alone. Los coyotes están afuera. Coyotes are outside. I don't name like outside of my house, just outside. Right? There's afuera, see? But los coyotes están fuera del patio. They're outside of the patio. Now I'm naming the patio what they're outside of. Then I need, see, fuera del. El enlace está abajo. The link is below. You're going to hear a lot of videos throughout the course where the people will do this. The link is below. They'll probably point. Está abajo is below. But if I name what something is underneath, what something is below of, you know, when I name something after this idea, it's el enlace está debajo de la foto. The link is below the photo. And I'm naming what it's underneath, what it's under, yeah, la foto. And when I name that thing, la foto, I need debajo de la foto. See, bien? So principally we'll use these, but there are a lot of other prepositions so that you know, para que sepan, so you know, right? But we're going to practice a lot of arriba, abajo, encima, maybe encima de, debajo, maybe debajo de, adentro, afuera. You may shorten those to say something is outside, but we're going to, you know, or outside of something or inside of something. And a la derecha, a la izquierda. ¿Ok? Vale. Bueno, aquí, si tenemos una foto y vamos a practicar y voy a empezar. I will start this off. ¿Sí? Bien. Por ejemplo, cojines, cushions, like little pillows, right? Cojines. Okay. Los cojines están en el sofá. Están encima del sofá. Los cojines están encima del sofá. They're on top of the sofa. ¿Sí? Los cojines están encima del sofá. ¿Sí? ¿Bien? If I want to talk about las flores, the flowers. ¿Cómo describo? How do I describe? ¿Cómo describo la posición de las flores?
Encima la masa,
Encima de la mesa.
de la mesa.
Están encima de la mesa. ¿Sí? Están encima de la mesa. Perfecto, perfecto. Bien. Bueno, las luces, these lights, las lámparas aquí. We want this kind of word.
Arriba.
Las luces están
Están arriba.
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 Perfecto. Están arriba. They're up there. ¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Sí? Bien, bien. Bueno, ok. El lago, the lake. ¿Dónde está?
Afuera.
Está afuera.
Está afuera, is outside. Está afuera, está afuera, ¿sí?
Yeah.
Los árboles, los árboles.
Están afuera.
It's going to be the same thing. They're not inside the house.
Los árboles están afuera. ¿Afuera?
Están afuera, sí. El televisor, the TV set. El televisor, ¿está afuera?
No.
No, no está afuera.
Adentro.
Está adentro. It's inside. Está
Right.
adentro. Ok, vale. Bueno.
A
Ahora.
la izquierda.
There are other things we might say about that. El televisor. Exacto, exacto. El televisor está a la izquierda. Está a la izquierda. It's on the left. Excelente, sí. El sofá.
A la derecha.
Está a la derecha. Está a la derecha, sí. Sí, ok. El sofá, otro ejemplo aquí. El sofá está a la derecha de las sillas. Aquí hay dos sillas. ¿Sí? El sofá está a la derecha de las sillas. ¿Bien? Perfecto. Bueno, adelante. Moving on. Tenemos una cueva. We got a little cave. Oh, it's a little cave. Una cuevita. Tenemos una cuevita de nieve. We have a little snow cave. Tenemos una cuevita de nieve. We've got a little snow cave. ¿Cómo se dice the girls are inside?
Dentro de.
Las niñas, the little girls, they're inside.
Dentro de casa. Okay.
Están-
dentro de.
Están adentro, they're inside, but now if I name what they're inside of, están dentro de la cuevita, ¿sí? Están dentro de la cueva, ¿sí?
Afuera.
Hay 3 chicos. ¿Dónde están los 3 chicos? Where are the 3 kids?
On top of.
Encima de.
Arriba de.
Están arriba, they're up, they're above, están arriba, or I might say they're on top of.
Encima.
Encima o sobre.
I might say están afuera, they're outside, sí. I might say están encima. Están encima, they're on top. Están encima de la cueva, ¿sí? Hay 3 chicos que están encima de la cueva, ¿sí? Están afuera, they're outside. Están afuera, they're outdoors, ¿sí? Bien, ok.
Bien.
Bueno, si hablamos de esta foto, and these are just to talk about positions, ¿sí? Tenemos una piña. ¿Dónde está la piña? Where's the pineapple?
Encima de mesa.
Encima de la mesa.
De
La
mesa.
piña está encima de la mesa. That's one thing. We might use something else to describe this.
Está a la derecha.
A la derecha it's to the right of what?
De la leche.
Está a la derecha de la leche. It's to the right of the milk. Eso sí. Bien. Vale. Bueno. ¿Qué está how would I say, uh-oh, there's milk on the table. I might just say, hay leche en la mesa.
Leche encima.
Encima de la mesa. Sí, hay una botella de leche. There's a bottle of milk. Hay una botella de leche encima de la mesa. Sí. How about if I talk about the position of la botella de leche, the bottle of milk, compared to the pineapple, la piña?
Está
A la izquierda.
A la izquierda, sí. La botella de leche está a la izquierda de la piña. Perfecto, perfecto. Bien. Bueno, adelante. Wow, hay muchas cosas. There are lots of things we can talk about with this. ¿Sí? Bien. ¿Qué está encima de la cama? ¿Qué está encima de la cama?
los pantalones.
Los pantalones están encima de la cama. Sí, ¿qué más? What else?
Las celulares.
Un celular, sí, está encima de la cama, sí. These 2 things here are called almohadas. Almohadas. Una pregunta. ¿Cuántas? How many? ¿Cuántas almohadas?
2.
Dos.
Los
Hay
almohadas
2 almohadas
están
encima de la cama, ¿sí?
Cama.
Encima
Cama.
de la cama. Ok. ¿Dónde está el reloj? How would I talk about where that clock is?
Arriba.
Encima.
The bed.
Arriba. Está arriba de la cama.
La cama. No.
Está arriba de la cama, sí. How would I talk about, la lámpara? ¿Dónde está la lámpara?
Lámpara a la derecha de la cama.
A la derecha.
Derecha.
La lámpara está a la derecha de la cama,
De
sí.
la cama. Yeah.
Bien, bien. Bueno, sí. Ah, bueno, a ver, ¿qué está encima del escritorio? ¿Qué está encima del escritorio?
El computador.
La computadora está encima del escritorio. Bien, ¿qué más?
Lámpara.
La lámpara está encima del escritorio. ¿Y qué es esto? No sé. Un altavoz, maybe a speaker, no sé. No sé exactamente. ¿Ok? If I want to say la vista de la ciudad, the view of the city. La vista de la ciudad.
Está fuera de la
And you can even shorten it.
habitación.
It's just outside. Está
Está afuera.
afuera. Perfecto.
Afuera.
La vista de la ciudad está afuera. A view of the city is outside. Está afuera.
Afuera.
Bien. El ventilador, the fan. ¿Dónde está?
Arriba.
Arriba. Arriba. Arriba. Bueno. Vale, perfecto. ¿Dónde está el estante? Where is this shelf?
De la derecha de la
A la
derecha de la what is the window?
a la derecha de la
La ventana.
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 La ventana.
Depende. It depends whether you use right or the left. Depends on what you're orienting it with. ¿Sí? El estante, the shelf, el estante está a la derecha de la ventana. Perfecto. Bueno, ¿dónde están los cuadros? The pictures. Los cuadros.
Cuadros están
A la izquierda
de la ventana.
window.
Sí, a
Ventanas.
la izquierda de la ventana. A la izquierda de la ventana. Perfecto,
Ventana.
perfecto. ¿Dónde está la puerta de la habitación? The bedroom door. ¿Dónde está la puerta de la habitación? ¿Dónde está la puerta?
A la derecha. Left here.
Está a la derecha de la cama. Está a la derecha de la mesita con la lámpara.
Lámpara, yeah.
Bien, bien, perfecto. Sí. ¿Qué está debajo de la cama? ¿Qué está debajo de la cama?
La
Quizás las botas, sí. No sabemos exactamente. No podemos ver perfectamente lo que está debajo de la cama, ¿sí?
Muchas
Cierto.
cosas.
Sí, quizás
Muchas
las
cosas.
botas, sí. Bien. Ok. Vale. Bueno, a ver.
Basura. Basura.
Sí,
So
yeah.
that was what's under the bed.
What's under the bed? You know, you can be sure there is stuff under that bed. See, no podemos ver, we cannot see,
Socks.
pero sí hay cosas. Muchas veces hay zapatos debajo de la cama así.
Chemise.
calcetenas. Calcetenas.
Sí, bien. Ok, vale. ¿Dónde están los platos? ¿Dónde están los platos? Aquí tenemos una cocina.
Encima de la mesa.
¿Dónde están los platos? Perdón. ¿Dónde están los platos?
Encima.
¿Encima de qué? On top of what? ¿Encima?
La
De
mesa.
mesa.
Encima de la mesa. Encima
La
de la
mesa.
mesa. Perfecto,
Mesa.
perfecto. Ok, vale. Bueno. ¿Qué está afuera? What's outside? ¿Qué está afuera?
Arbor. Trees.
Árboles.
Árboles. Muchos árboles.
Sí, sí. Ok. Hay, hay plantas afuera, hay árboles afuera. Sí. Hay, es una piscina, no sé exactamente.
Mm.
Bueno, aquí, bien, bien.
Uh, um,
¿Dónde está el refri? La nevera, el refrigerador, el refri. For short,
En,
el refri.
en dentro de la mesa.
Dentro,
¿No?
dentro de la cocina. Oh, it's inside the kitchen.
Dentro de kitchen.
Está dentro de la cocina. It's inside the kitchen. Sí, sí. Está adentro. It's inside. Sí, el refri no está afuera.
Mm,
No está afuera. El refri está adentro. It's inside. Está adentro. It's inside. If I want to say it's inside the kitchen and I name the kitchen part, está dentro de la cocina.
cocina.
Perfecto. So you can see how we're adding está adentro, it's inside. But if I name what it's inside of, it's dentro de la cocina, inside the kitchen. Sí, ¿entienden? Understand?
Sí.
Sí, con los ejemplos. Ok, vale, perfecto, perfecto. Ah, ah, muy bien. Con relación de la ventana, with relationship to the window, ¿sí? La ventana, ¿sí? ¿Dónde está el reloj? ¿Dónde está el reloj?
illiterate.
Izquierda.
El-
En la derecha de la,
Ah,
en la
ah,
derecha de.
a la,
Izquierda.
a la izquierda, sí, a la izquierda de la ventana, sí. Está a la derecha de los gabinetes. It's to the right of the cabinets. Está a la derecha de
cabinet.
los gabinetes, ¿sí? Perfecto. Pero está a la izquierda de la ventana. De la ventana. Bien, bien, perfecto. Ok. Bueno. Perdón. I want to add one extra word. If I want to say next to, just next to, okay?
Junta de.
Al lado, al
Al lado.
lado
Al
de,
lado.
¿sí?
Al lado.
Bueno, ¿cuántas sillas están al lado de la mesa? How many chairs are next to the table? ¿Cuántas sillas están al lado de la mesa?
Cuatro al lado,
¿Cuán-
cuatro al lado.
Sí, hay quizás cuatro, sí, hay cuatro, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, sillas al lado de la
Yes.
mesa, ¿sí? ¿Bien?
Ujú.
Vale, perfecto.
Gotcha.
Ok. Y siguiente. Aquí tenemos un gabinete en la cocina. Here we have a cabinet in the kitchen. ¿Sí? Es un gabinete. ¿Sí? Bueno, a ver. Están dentro de la comida, las latas, the cans, las jarras, las botellas, bottles, sí, están dentro del gabinete. Dentro del gabinete, ¿sí?
Ujú.
¿Cómo se dice? The mayonnaise is above the beans.
Wow.
The mayo, la mayonesa.
Está
Arriba.
Está arriba, está arriba. It's up on top. Sí, está arriba de los frijoles, ¿sí?
Los
Ujú.
¿Cómo se
beans.
dice the beans are below the mayo? Are underneath the mayo jar.
Los frijoles están abajo del medio.
Bien, sí, están abajo. Sí, los frijoles están abajo. They're underneath. Están abajo. Sí. If I name what they're underneath, están debajo de la mayonesa. Bien, perfecto. Perfecto, muy bien.
Excuse me on that one. I'm sorry. Are you saying if you just say that it's underneath and it's just abajo, but if it's underneath, like
Abajo just means below, underneath, right? But if I name the thing, then it's debajo de la mayonesa. Ok,
thank
vale.
you.
Bueno, por ejemplo, si veo aquí Duncan Hines, hay dos cajas de Duncan Hines, ¿sí? Es algo para hacer la torta, something for making a cake, sí. Bien, ¿dónde está la sopa? ¿Dónde está la sopa? Where's the soup?
Soup. Ooh.
La derecha.
A la
Both shelves.
derecha, sí. ¿Y cuántas latas? How many cans? ¿Cuántas latas de sopa?
Cuatro.
Cuatro.
Oh,
Dos.
sí, sí, hay cuatro. Two below, two above. ¿Cómo se dice? Two above, two below.
Dos abajo,
Dos
dos
arriba, dos
arriba.
abajo.
Dos están abajo y dos están arriba. Dos están abajo, two are below, y dos están arriba. Perfecto.
It's done.
¿Cómo se dice? The tomato is above, the tomato soup. Sí, la sopa de tomate. La sopa de tomate, it's
Okay.
above.
Arriba.
Está arriba. Sí,
Hasta
la
arriba.
sopa de tomate está arriba.
Hasta arriba.
¿Sí? Bien. Bueno, perfecto, perfecto. Okay. Ya entienden. Now you've kind of got an idea of some of those, right? I'm going to give you actually, we're going to have some things, and I will actually, these slides have numbers. We're going to use these next week to talk about items. See, I want you to think also about, also I'm including in this slide set. These are personalized. I want you to prep these for next week. You're going to talk about who or what is outside, just outside. Yeah. Talk about your house, right? What's inside your house, or maybe inside your room? What's inside? But you're going to personalize this to your own personal space. So you're going to be using afuera, adentro, inside. Oh, you're going to talk about where your pet is. And if you don't have a pet, talk about your neighbor's pet. You've got to have some neighbor that's got a dog, right?
Hat.
Okay, see. You're going to talk about what's on top of this place, tu escritorio. Or if you work at a table, tu mesa. Bien? And
mesa means table or home, right?
mesa is just your table. Just your table. So if you don't work at a desk, if you're working at a table, yeah, then use mesa.
Okay.
Bien? Okay. And oh, what's underneath your bed? Why did I include this? Because I have now spent 2 weeks of my life reorganizing my room for reflooring. Go! What's underneath that bed? I was digging stuff out of closets, digging stuff out of beds, underneath beds. It was a mess. So you're going to take this and it will have these last two. Oh, and then we'll talk about these. I'm probably going to reorder these a little bit. But you're going to get an extra video to give you more preposition words because what you had last week was a little introduction. So we're going to add some other things to the mix, right? Like al lado de, next to. And this is going to be a more inclusive list. So it's going to feel like a lot of words, but it's really not grammar so much as it is vocabulary, where to tell, where things are relation to other stuff in your personal space. Yeah. And hopefully next week you'll be able to talk using those little questions that I gave you to prep some breakout room time to talk about things in your personal space. Bien? Todo bien?
Bien.
And you'll get a story video that has nothing to do with, just for the story. See? Para divertirse, just to have a good time with it, to see if you can follow along the general ideas of the story. ¿Todo bien?
Yep. Bien.
Perfecto, muy bien. Ok. Entonces, muchísimas gracias por
Gracias.
participar. Thank you for participating. Y nos vemos la semana que viene. See you guys next week. ¿Sí? Bien.
So-
Bien.
Perfecto. Any other
Brilliant.
topics you want to, feel free always to email me if you have specific topics you want done between now and mid-May. Bien, perfecto. Nos vemos, ¿sí? Cuídense.
Bien.